to move on and talk about a 90-minute period of yesterday that I don't even know what happened in that 90-minute period, because it definitely wasn't a game of football. I tell you that. It was just seemed like 22 men just casually just jogging around, and no attacking football on display. Just a bunch of nothing on the pitch yesterday. It really was. Brentford I thought were poor. Spurs were probably even poorer. At half-time, I was saying to you, this was one of the worst 90 minutes of football I've seen. Probably Spurs, slightly the better team, but not much in it. Mm-hmm. And you're thinking, it can't get much worse than that in the second half. Oh, it did. Oh, it did. Yep. It got a hell of a lot worse in the second half. And Brentford finished the game probably the better of the two sides when you take everything into account. And it's just like, what is this? What is this dross that we're being served up week in, week out now as Tottenham Hotspur fans? Like, the tactics on show, the technical ability on show, there is just nothing to take away from these games and say, we're moving in the right direction. Mm-hmm. What is there? Please tell me.
Mate, like I said to you before, I'm going to be very, very harsh on Frank today. Very, very harsh on Frank today. I will be with the players as well. But first of all, I need to apologise to someone. I can't remember who put a super chat in yesterday and said that Frank went there to play for not to get beat. And I said, no, I don't think that was. I want to publicly say I'm sorry, because I think he's right. Well, he was right. I don't think he was right. So if you're in the chat now, apologies, because you were right. It looked like 22 guys that have been out on the piss for New Year's Eve and were just out there like playing Sunday League, just getting their hangover. They all had hangovers, but obviously they didn't. But it was just like, let's just have a kick about and have some exercise. It was a awful performance. There's just nothing to even try and say, do you know what, that showed me something, or that went right, that went well. It was gutless, spineless, toothless. It was depressing. It was just a shambles from the first minute to the 90th minute. Frank got absolutely everything, and I do mean everything, wrong yesterday. And I'm talking about yesterday only. The players were, apart from, in all honesty, for me, apart from Van de Ven, horrific. Every single one of them. But we can't create, we can't score. We have become a little bit more resolute and hard to beat, but yesterday was something that I find deeply unacceptable. And it was a awful performance.
Yeah. And you know what, like, the away fans, the life and blood and heartbeat of this football club, week in, week out, they're there, home and away, but obviously particularly away, always loud in voice, and yesterday was no different. They were loud in voice there once again. But the product that they're getting served up, we're getting served up every week. It's not like I sit here every week and argue with Sim, and Sim saying it's not good enough, what's there to go on, and I'm saying, you know what, whatever, just give it to the end of the season. I can't see any takeaways to take from it, but just give it to the end of the season, see what can change, see if he can turn it around. But as each week progresses, it's coming more and more evident that nothing seems to be changing at all. And we can all sit here and complain and moan about the quality of personnel and the quality of player that we have at this football club. And correct, we don't have the best quality. 100% we don't have the best quality, but we've got much more than what we're showing right now. Am I supposed to be led to believe that a front line of Richarlison, Kudus, Odebear are not able to muster up a chance on goal? Come on, man. Like that. The players that we had on the pitch yesterday, yes, we were depleted. Yes, we had that's the only midfield we could have picked, unless you wanted to play Kudus on the inside and stick Tel or Moani on the left and Odebear on the right. Yeah, fine, it's slim pickings. But with the players that we have at our disposal, we could be doing a lot more with what we're doing. And you're looking at teams like Burnley. You're looking at teams sitting close to the bottom of the league. How are they able to consistently create more than what this Tottenham team are able to create. So I'm sorry, the excuse of the players are not good enough, it doesn't fly, because teams that have lesser quality than us are able to create more than us. So for me, as much as the player quality is poor, it all leads back to the manager, in my opinion. Everything right now. And, you know, we spoke so many times about Thomas Frank and how I massively believed in him, and I was happy that he came to the club and everything like that. But as weeks go by, it's getting harder and harder and harder to stick up and to defend and to be patient and everything like that. And I'm watching Spurs right now, and to be honest, to tell you the truth, it's just like, yeah, right, another poor performance. It's just like, they just go over your head now. It's not even like, don't even get angry about it. Don't even get upset about it. It's just like, oh, well, it is what it is. This is what Spurs are right now. And I think that's the majority of what the away fans are like. You saw the away fans last night, not apathetic during the game. They were just having a good time with it, you know, singing songs for the legends of this football club, creating an atmosphere. And that's what you got to do. And that's what I was saying when I was at Palace. You know, the atmosphere was unbelievable. And the way that these fans support this club through thick and thin is something special. And the fans don't deserve the product that we're getting served up week in, week out. However, we are here. It needs to be getting a lot better, and it needs to be getting a lot better quickly, because I believe the fans and the majority of the fan base, I don't think anyone, the majority of people don't believe that Frank is the long-term answer for this football club.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, there are many people thinking that, and it's getting overwhelming. Like I said yesterday when we were speaking to, was it Matthew, the guy with the Spurs bottle and the pillow yesterday, was his name Matthew?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. As I said, I can understand why people are feeling this way. I can completely understand it and completely get it. Yesterday, on reflection, when we got back, and when I got home, I don't know, you know, like when you're playing Street Fighter or whatever like that, and your energy goes down. Yesterday was a huge chunk of my energy zapped from how I've been. We created 8 opportunities yesterday, and only 1 on target. That is a player side, not just the manager side, but everything, like I said, that was done yesterday was wrong from start to finish. Like we were saying, and some people were saying in the chat yesterday, just try something different. Put Kudus in the 10. There's some creativity he can operate, because he's looking lost on the right wing at the moment. Whether that's what Frank's doing to him, whether that's what he's doing, or a combination of both. Give him something. Put him somewhere where he can create and have an impact. And like we've all been saying, there's always been someone on the pitch at Tottenham Hotspur that you can always say could get you out of trouble. Always. There's always someone that's been on the pitch going back years and years and years. Right now, I can't think of a single one. Not a single player. And like I said, backwards, sideways. I really did. I'm so disappointed in Frank in the way he's going about a game like this. Obviously, there's been a lot of games where the football has been poor, and I've been lenient, and I've backed him, and I'll continue to. But like I said, I've had a huge bit of my energy bar drained with the performance yesterday. And like I said, when the fans do what they did, and you know what, you've got in the headline, is he losing the fans? His style of football, and then after the style of football, to come out and speak to the fans in the manager he is, he's got no right to do it. He's got absolutely no right to do it. Like I said, I'm going to hold in there and stand my ground, but I'm not going to be sun is always shining right now, because it's not shining, and things need to change. He needs to stop worrying as much as we had a manager that didn't care about the opposition. Now we've got a manager that cares
Only.
I wouldn't say, maybe not only, but way too much than he should do. He changed things up regularly at Brentford. He's not changing it here. I thought the back three that Stel was mentioning yesterday, and I said it, I think it might have been with Simeon. I would love to have seen exactly what Stel said. I said it a few weeks ago, but I thought the fact that Dragushin wasn't fit and Sakai wasn't fit, he doesn't want to do it, because if he gets an injury to Danso, Van der Ven or Romero, or a suspension, we're in trouble. Well, now they are here, and we could see that yesterday wasn't working at all, and he just changed like for like. And that's not how you impact the game, especially when you're bringing the players on Was it too late? Especially Moani came on a bit. But they're not even we just can't get the ball. And like I said yesterday, the passing from the professional bunch of footballers was shambolic and horrific. We weren't asking like defence splitting passes. It was simple passes. And they could not do it.
Yeah. They couldn't do it. I mean, the passing on show yesterday was absolutely horrific. But I don't know whether... I'm starting to get the feeling it's just the players lacking confidence in the system that they're playing, because we show no ambition on the football pitch. You know, he talks about in the last press conference to dare is to do well. I'm not seeing that anywhere close to any football pitch that Tottenham go on to at this moment in time. Stell came on the fan show and, along with other fans yesterday, and called Thomas Frank a coward for the way he set the team up yesterday. And
I agree.
I agree completely. You know, you can't set up a team with no ambition to go forward, particularly against a team like Brentford, where we're supposed to be the dominant side. You know, we won the Europa League last season, and then we're going away to Brentford and essentially playing for a draw, whether they actually played for a draw or not. The tactics were playing for a draw. Vicario's wasting time with half an hour to go at 0-0. It's just like, what is this crap? What is this crap? This is not Tottenham Hotspur.
Yep.
And I'm so checked out with Tottenham right now. Usually, even under Ange, when, you know, I was calling for Ange out and all this kind of stuff, you know, I'd still go home and be heavily invested and be checking everything and you know, non-stop football and Tottenham information that I want to consume. Right now, I go home, I don't give a shit what's being said online. I come in here, I do my content, and I go home and I'm completely checked out. This is what it's become. You know, we're seeing no product on the pitch. We're seeing no ambition from the manager. We're seeing a manager that goes at the Tottenham Hotspur fans, the loyal Tottenham Hotspur fans that turn up week in, week out. He goes, the Tottenham fans that boo, that they can't be loyal Tottenham fans. Well, I'm sorry, you got booed yesterday by the Tottenham Hotspur fans that all have over 417 points. Are they not loyal Tottenham fans then? Are they not loyal Tottenham fans? They waited for Thomas Frank to come to the front to boo, to make a point that it wasn't the players that were getting booed, it was the manager getting booed. And I think it's quite right that he gets booed, because the coward tactics that we deploy week in, week out should be nowhere near what Spurs do. Nowhere near. We need to be on the front. It's not even about front foot. Play effective football.
Yeah.
Play effective. If you're not going to be on the front foot, if you're not going to go and play high pressing and attack football, that's fine if that's what you want to do. But be effective in what you're trying to do. Be effective. Like I said before, there are teams like Burnley that are creating more consistently than us right now. And how is that ever going to wash with any Tottenham Hotspur fan? And he is losing the fans very quickly right now. Mm-hmm. It's not even toxic in away ends right now. Spurs fans know we're shit. We're just having fun with it. And at the end, we'll make our feelings known. You know? And that's just what it is right now. It's absolutely ridiculous.
There's nothing more there's literally nothing more I can add to that. Nothing.
So,
it's spot on.
So, like, what more can we say? What more can we say? It's rinse and repeat. Yeah, maybe we might get a result here and there. Maybe we'll pull off a draw. Maybe we'll pull off a win. But the reality is, the performances ain't getting any better. And in fact, they're probably getting worse, because yesterday, in terms of on the ball, in terms of being able to create, even in terms of, look, we defended all right in times yesterday. And I hate this. He's like, Thomas Frank in the press conference being like, oh yeah, but give us some praise for the way we defended. Like begging for some praise because we kept a clean sheet. We kept 2 clean sheets in a row. Who gives a fuck about keeping clean sheets if you can't create a chance?
Yep, you got that. Like I said to you before as well, what I'm missing here, and this is Frank, but this is players as well, there is just there's no person there that's saying this is unacceptable on the pitch. You can't see any. You see other teams when things aren't going right, they're getting at their players saying, come on. Obviously Vicario's shouting at anyone, even if he kicks the ball out, he'll blame someone, but there's no accountability and stand out as like, this is unacceptable football. This is we're wearing this shirt, we're wearing this badge. This is not what we do. Like I've said to you when I've come on this show many a time, these players have a responsibility. When the going gets tough, unfortunately, these players go running or hiding. Like I said, it was taking nothing away from what I've been saying about Frank and how yesterday was cowardly, was just so uninspiring. And for, like you said, for those fans to travel right to West London, it's still on New Year's Day and everything, to be served up that is not on. And to then praise the one thing that was semi-good in keeping a clean sheet, and that's not what we go to football for. I can't remember a game in any footballing world where people go, oh, what a defensive display. That was... Maybe like,
unless you're going to like Man City away or something like that. Not bloody Brentford, do you know what I mean?
Exactly, that's what I meant. That's what I was trying to get at. He's got to... I think he needs to be spoken to someone at the club about what he's saying in press conferences, especially about the fans. I said to you before we went on, some of the stuff, like he said about the defending, I do kind of agree with him, but not to be celebrated in the manner he said it.
If we win the game, then yeah, fine, celebrate your defensive performance, but not if you take a 0-0 draw at Brentford and start saying, oh, what a great defensive display we had. We've kept 2 clean sheets in a row. Something's got to be said for that.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
Agreed.
It's just so stale. It's so stale what we're seeing week in, week out. And the most worrying thing about it, like I keep saying, I can't see any change happening anytime soon. You know? He needs to change something. He needs to go more on the front foot. He needs to give the fans something to cheer about. You know, Spurs fans are paying a lot of money, and they just want to fall asleep in their seat every week.
Yep, I mean, like I said, we've got... January is now where it can change. And I don't mean always all of a sudden wake up and change everything at the club. I mean with personnel.
But the tactics need to change.
Oh,
That's
no, that
the point.
is, but hopefully if he brings in better quality of players, they will be able to do something that these players simply aren't.
But why can't he do it with these players? At least go a bit more offensive. It doesn't make sense to me.
That he should be doing.
Like I've been saying, like Burnley are creating more than us. I know they're not. They're also getting shit results and they're rooted in the relegation zone. But how are a team like Burnley and other teams around them, like Leeds, for example? Look at the way Leeds are playing right now. You know, they're going at teams. You're telling me that Leeds have got better quality players than us?
No, but I reckon I would say with some of them they've got a lot more fight and desire. Quality, no. And then you look at it like we were saying in the show we did. Look at the Ellen Road fan base. Look at the crowd. Look at they will roar them on. And this isn't me having a dig at the Spurs fans, but we know we've spoken about the atmosphere at this ground since we moved at it. Has been a major issue for whatever reason. You want to say, has it been split apart with the singing sections? Has it been how much corporate? Has it been this? Has it been that? Has it been all the changing? There's so much to change. So much to change. But I go back to what I was saying. Have Leeds and teams got like that, got better quality than us? No. Do they have players that have got more desire, passion, commitment and fight in them? Maybe.
Well, maybe they would have commitment, fight and passion and desire if they actually believed in what they were doing.
There's that as well.
Because I don't see any player, maybe apart from Mickey van der Ven, that actually feels like they believe in what they're doing right now. I just see players that are lost on the football pitch. That's what I see.
No, yesterday it sums it completely. We got people like Pedro Porro, who's overplayed to hell, but was strong defensively. But his absolute unbelievable assets of being able to pass, delivery, everything like that, was absolutely shot to pieces.
Yeah.
Jed Spence, you could go. Listen, we could go through this and we do it in the player rated. It's a mess.
It's a complete mess.
Yep.
And, you know, we can sit here and point the finger, but right now the reality is it's nowhere near good enough. There's no sign of it getting better. And we're just going to have to grin and bear it. That's just the reality, because I don't even think Frank is going anywhere anytime soon. So, and even if he was to go somewhere, what's going to be the plan after that? So I think all we can do right now is just pray to any God that you believe in that Frank can turn it around before the end of the season.
If we're to get rid of Frank now, whoever comes in will be exactly where we'll be doing this again come May. But then obviously May, you've got the possibility of, said Pochettino, anyone manager leave from the World Cup. But it's going to happen again. until Tottenham Hotspur pick a manager and say, right, you are the guy, by hook or by crook, you are the guy, you've got 3, 4, whatever many years, and we are going to...
But what if we do that and he's not the guy? How long do you give it then, if it keeps going the way it's going?
As you said, I'm giving Frank till the summer.
Yeah.
And then in the summer, if we haven't seen change, if we haven't seen quality, and managers become available, and like I've said to you with the players, I've had enough of this now. Sentimentality means sod all to me now. My favourite player, Mickey van der Ven, if Spurs can get an upgrade on him, you upgrade. You can't, right here, right now, I don't
Spurs
think you
ain't getting
no
upgrade on Mickey van der Ven.
What I mean by that is, I can have a favourite player, there could be a player that's a very good player for the club, but if you could bring in someone better than that player, you do it, and then you move on, because it's for the benefit of the club.
But what about the reality of Spurs not finishing in a European spot next season, not winning a trophy, and back to the first season of Ange when we had no European football, right?
Yep.
We're trying to time the likes of Mickey van der Ven and our top players down to long contracts right now. How are we supposed to convince these kind of players that we're desperate to stay, to stick around if we've got no Europe when the likes of whoever it may be might come calling for them? We're running the risk again of losing top players this summer.
I agree. Completely agree. You look at it the other way, if we sack a manager and then bring in another manager, what confidence do the players have that this manager will be there for the duration of their contract?
Well, if it's the right manager and they, put the tactics that the players can play and actually look threatening on the pitch, then he will be the right manager. But right now, nobody's got any confidence that Frank can do that. Look, I don't think he's going to get sacked anytime soon. I don't even know if it's the right decision to sack him, because there is no other alternative right now. We've spoken about the potential of Pochettino being available in the summer, Nagelsmann being available in the summer.
Who's turned us down?
Who's turned us down before, but Conte turned us down and then ended up coming to Tottenham. So Moani turned us down before. He's at the club right now, so it's not exactly a deal breaker. But what this is what it comes down to, is like, what players can we attract right now to even make it better in the short term? And if we end up sacking Frank now or in the summer, apart from Pochettino, who I think would be dying to come back, what kind of manager could we even attract?
Exactly.
So I mean, the club is such a uninspiring and it's just so rotten that I feel like no top player and no top manager will even want to come here.
Well, this is the only thing I can add to that is, again, we've had years and years and years of saying, if you pay the wages, they'll come. Now it's a case of, will ENIC do it? And yes, the situation of where we're going at the moment is a bit in the air, and we've got no clear identity of what's going on. But we've gone on for ages and ages and ages saying that we won't pay the wages to bring these players in, and then we spent a lot of people saying players go for the wages now. Well, I think players still would come in because of the wages and then the London factor and everything, but it is in the air at the moment with our identity, where we're going, what direction are we trying to go into, and all these questions need to be answered.
But these players that we're going for, we're led to believe will be in the pool of the clubs that will go for: Man City, Newcastle, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, like all these clubs. They're all way above us in the pecking order, and they can offer exactly the same wages as we can offer. So we're still going to be picking up scraps.
I agree with you on a lot of that, but I also think we need to start moving, kind of like how quickly this Johnson deal got wrapped up. If we Spurs start moving quickly, like we tried to do more, gives way, okay, no one was going for it. But if Spurs could do that and pull these off, unlike what we did with Eze, where we were just sitting around waiting, and then Arsenal were just obviously waiting in the wings to come and strike, then could deals get done? Maybe. If you get them done without it being all over the Twitter, all over social media, Sky Sports, whatever. If you get these deals done quickly and efficiently, maybe. But we don't know. We've never been able to do it.
Yeah. Well, look, the reality, I'm just so fed up and tired of watching this week in, week out, and I just don't see an end in sight. That's the problem. So it's got to change. It's got to change quickly, and let's just hope and pray that it does. In terms of the penalty decision yesterday, I said yesterday on the instant match reaction that I'll give my views on it today because, got to see it a few more times, and I think it was a penalty, man. I don't think he gets anywhere close to the ball, and Archie Gray goes down. So I don't know what VAR's looking at because they did go back to VAR. They had a good old long look at it, didn't they, and didn't give it. So, if we would have got a penalty, what do Spurs need to do to get a bloody penalty in the Premier League? We just never seem to get any.
Exactly. And like we were saying behind the scenes before we came up, if that foul had been outside the box, it's a free kick. Without even a question, without even any protest from Brentford or anything. It's just madness. I keep saying it. I would get rid of VAR tomorrow if I could. I know everyone goes, it's not the technology, it's the people, and it's right. But it's coming for a clear indication of certain things. It's not getting the things right. Do you remember back in the day, if they said no penalty, that was it. There was no, okay, let's wait and see. Just get on with the game. I really, really, if I had the opportunity, it would be gone tomorrow.
Yeah. But I guess there's a caveat there because Romero definitely should have got sent off as well.
Yep.
And, the Keith Andrews said in the post-match press conference he should have got sent off in this game. He should have got sent off in the first game as well for that kind of scissor kick challenge. Yep. And he's completely spot on, to be honest. Completely spot on. So Romero, he looked shaky yesterday, Romero, first and foremost. And second of all, he's let this kind of over-aggressive streak come back into his game this season where it looked like over the last year or so, last couple of years, he was doing well to toe that line, to be aggressive but not overly aggressive. But now, since he's got that captain's armband, it seems as though he's kind of reverted back, picking up yellows every game, stupid challenges, and back to that kind of red mist Romero. And it's a bit worrying.
Could it be that he's now the captain and he wants to lead by example and he's going a little bit...
But he was leading by example better before than he is now.
I'm not disagree with you, but I'm saying with that captain's armband now, is he saying, right, this is how I run it and this is what I do? Who knows? But that ruthless streak has come back and it's causing issues, isn't it?
Definitely. It's just so hard to watch, people. So hard to watch this football club right now. But we pray and hope for better days. The thing that gets me the most is the way that Frank goes at the fans. Yeah. You can't go at the fans and get away with it and expect to get them on side.
No.
But
the math ain't mathing, is it?
But the reality is what he said today, the fans will be on side if there's a successful football club. And he's right about that. If Frank can turn it around and, start winning games on merit, then the fans will come on side. But the problem is no fan can actually see that happening right now.
Yep, and then you look at it, the game coming up, if it's not a quick start or a change of tactic, that ground's going to get very toxic very, very quickly. Then it's all going to come on top of us. Yeah.
And if it does get toxic very quickly, we know that when that happened, when Levy was in charge, he would have pushed a button pretty quickly. And I'm convinced that if Levy was still here, Frank would be gone by now. I don't think he would be in a job.
I think he would be in the last chance saloon.
I don't think he'll be here. We saw how quickly he got rid of Nuno. You can see the fan disgruntlement right now.
You're right.
You know what I mean? So I don't think Frank would be here. If I think it's a new start with Tottenham, new hierarchy. They're trying to give it time and they're trying to back up their decision to bring in Thomas Frank with Vinay and Johan Lang. And obviously Johan Lang and Thomas Frank have history together and they're close and everything like that. So I think they're trying to give it every opportunity to work. And look, I'm not saying it's a bad decision to do that, but if you make a decision, probably best to stick by your guns. But if it keeps getting toxic and, the more toxic it gets, the more chance it is of Thomas Frank getting sacked. And if we do go and lose to Sunderland, and I think if we have a poor January with these winnable games that we have now, I don't know if there is a point keeping him past January.
Could be big trouble.
So we'll see what happens there. But that is your match review. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.